This is Matt for Into Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined by a very proud, a very happy Dennis Hobson. Dennis, let's get your initial reaction. Jack Massey, new world champion, the second one for FightZone. You've only been going 6 months. You're climbing, breaking down barriers, smashing down doors. Talk to me, how proud a moment was it for you to see Jack achieve that tonight?
I'm very proud. He's a family man. I've got 2 world champions, and he's some of the nicest people that you could ever work with. And in a game that's sometimes surrounded by some people who aren't the most honourable, but I've met all the family. Anna's a family person. She's got I'm pals with a trainer. Noel is my pal. They all play a part. We've had the unfortunate situation where we've had Jason McClory, our head of boxing and matchmaker, who's had a suspected heart attack and has been in hospital, and so we had to cope with that. We had to pull together, and the last 48 hours have been a bit scaring, but the people here did no idea what we were going through for the last 48, 72 hours. The left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing 72 hours ago, but guess what? We've got a great team, and like I said earlier, I don't know if you heard me, Matt, no man's an island. And yeah, I can get my hands dirty, but no man is an island. And we've got a great team. I haven't been involved with such good people for the last, in the 30 years of boxing. I've got a great partner in Steve Crump. He's an absolute gentleman. He's my pal, but he loves the game. I wanted him to taste these special nights. And you're a football fan, I'm a football fan, but there's nothing like a big fight night.
I was just about to get onto that. I'm a big football fan, and you get a lot of emotion, but to see the way he finished that fight and what it meant to him, there's no buzz like it. And I think you mentioned it in another interview. That is a drug that you can't just, if you could bottle it, it'd sell for billions. Do moments like that, when you think about all the money that flies around in boxing, does that sort of moment just eclipse anything that goes on in terms of any gain or anything that you can do in boxing?
Matt, I've got 2 or 3 different businesses, and I'll be honest with you, I neglect my businesses, and some of my associates and colleagues in the businesses that I'm involved in, they look at me and say, what's he doing? I spend that much time on this game, and if I just spent the time in the metal business, the engineering business, and the other businesses that I've got, I'd be a lot wealthier. But you cannot buy what I've created, like tonight when I did the Ricky Hatton stuff. And you've seen how Ricky greets me. For him to come and greet me is an icon. And I did it with Clinton Woods, Jimmy McDonald, Cal Thompson. These special times. And then when you have a lull, I had a world champion for quite a few years, and then I've got 2 that I've actually manoeuvred with Hannah, and obviously tonight with Medistry again with Jack Massey, and the special people as well. When you've got, I've got a connection with the family and stuff like that, and you just want to go that extra mile, and you think, how can I manoeuvre? And I'll ring some of my contacts around the world. And this could have just been for the interim, and that would have been fantastic, but just a little bit of persuasion and this and other, and relying on some great relationships, we made it for the vacant world title. Some people don't realise what you have to do to make that happen. They go, well, he's there on merit. Of course he's there on merit, but you need a good team around you. So we do our bit. Jack's definitely done his bit tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of fiddling that goes about in the background of boxing. I don't think a lot of people have a clue what goes on. But in terms of the event and the show, it's the first FightZone I've been to. It felt very much like crowd involvement, like the crowd were part of the show. I know sometimes you can go to shows and it's very much, that's the show, that's the crowd. This felt like, everyone together. It was a brilliant feel tonight, from the ring walk to the first fight to the last fight. How proud are you from the car park show to this show, and where does it rank with what you've done in boxing? You mentioned Ricky Hatton and the names and the world titles. Where does this sort of project and where it's going, where does it rank so far for you?
It's hard to say, because it's a different buzz, because the great thing about this is, Matt, is that we're in charge of our own destiny with FightZone. So I'm not going cap in hand to Sky Television, BBC or Channel 5 or whatever, or BT. We can put fights on that we think are worthy, and some people who are in certain positions, they don't sometimes understand how you want to manoeuvre kids to get opportunities. And then I know which way I'm going. It's like playing snooker and playing 3 shots in front. You know what the third shot's going to be. In this game, and the television people, they don't sometimes get it. and that's why I'm in a privileged position now with FightZone, where we're in charge of our own destiny, and everybody who's involved at FightZone are buying into what my thoughts and strategies are as regards this game. And obviously you've seen the production. It's a quality production what we're putting together. The branding's great. We've already established in 6 months as a brand. FightZone's out there. We need people to keep obviously buying into it, but we're a global brand. We've got relationships. We're starting in Canada next month, and great relationships in South Africa and different places. So, you know, long may it continue. And like I just said earlier, it's where we're going to be. We've been going 6 months. Where we're going to be in 2 years.
Sky's the limit by the looks of things. Let's talk about Jack Massey. Star of the show, absolutely incredible knockdown. It was, you know, really high catching from ringside. Where does he go from here? I know we don't want to rush him and it's time to build him. I've heard you say that, but with how tasty the cruiserweight division is, especially with this being like a key unlocking the door to bigger fights, because he's got a bit of a bargaining chip now. No matter what anyone says about that world title, it's a bargaining chip. He has something coming into the fight. You've a Lawrence Okoli at Bradis, you've Canelo talking about coming to fight Makabu. I mean, what's next for Jack Massey?
I don't think Canelo would fancy that job against Jack Massey, because I'll tell you what, overnight, tomorrow, Jack Massey's a better fighter without putting the gloves back on. And when you think, I could go and win that, well, guess what? He's gone and won it, and now he knows he is a world champion, and he's got, like you say, a bargaining chip. We're building the brand. The Jack Massey brand's brilliant. There's fighters out there, some quality fighters, but wherever he ranks in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's one fighter who I'd want as the whole package, and that's Jack Massey, and we've got him. And you know, like I say, I love working with him. He's an ambassador outside the ring. He's a role model, and his fans are great. So like, I just love it. It's like, you couldn't pay to be involved in this bit, and guess what? I'm one of the main people who's going to manoeuvre him. It's special, and I've got people like yourself wanting to ask me the questions. It's a buzz for me. It's a drug, and long may it continue. I'm neglecting all my other jobs, but you know, you only live once.
You certainly do. Listen, thanks for giving me some of your time to Into Boxing. It's been a pleasure. Fingers crossed we'll be at the next show. Absolutely.
Doing a great job.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Gentlemen. It's
Thank
a pleasure.
You. Yeah.
Thanks, pal.